Aloft is an early access game based around a mythic world of floating islands. It has a robust and diverse character creation system, and it jumps you right into a first-person game with a fetch quest. The first thing I did was take in the scenery and try to see what items I could interact with. While the game starts you in first-person mode, I chose to go through this experience in third person. After doing this, I began my journey to start finding the items that I needed to get out of this cave. I started off gathering some wood, and I really like the big text when you gather these items. I personally like the F key when I'm interacting with objects, so I went ahead and changed that. I also chose this time to go see what my resources looked like in my inventory. Continuing on, I gathered more wood and stone, and I completed the quest at the top of the screen. Since this is a survival game, I went ahead to go see what items I could craft in my inventory. You're given two options. The first option you're given is you can learn what item you're about to craft, and then you can actually craft it itself. And again, you have a large display to tell you what items you used and what new blueprints you're learning. Another thing I really liked in the inventory is how easy it was to sort through your items and equip your items in the hotbar. Now, one thing I think needs improving here is the attack hits. I need to feel like my weapons are actually making a statement, and I feel like I have to focus a little bit too much on this combo bar. And that plays out later on in the video. With a new mission to get out of this cave, I really started to experiment with the character itself and tried to see what it's capable of. I really enjoyed the sliding, but one thing I have to complain about is the lack of an ability to pull yourself up cliffs. I feel like it's 2025 now, and this should be a standard on any game, but I get why they chose not to do it here. As part of the tutorial, I started to pick up the pieces, and I eventually started building out the pieces to complete the bridge. Pretty standard stuff here. Moving on across the bridge, I slide right up into this stone's DMs, and I gain a new ability to create a workbench. This item can be crafted from your inventory, and you just place it on the map. Once you have it in a secure location and you interact with it, you can further create more tools and equip them to your hotbar. It seemed like I probably spent most of my time in the game here just learning how to craft new items and seeing what new things I can come up with. A lot of the items I created here just started to feel like common sense and common knowledge from other survival games that I played, so this worked out perfectly for me. And it wouldn't be a survival game if you didn't have your cloth. Watch out for those shooting stars. Now that I've got all these nice new tools, it's time to bust open this cave wall. And here we get to experience another set of combos trying to break down this wall. I felt like I was more focused on the combo meter again than being able to swing at something legitimate. I don't know if this is the new standard in gaming, but it's going to take me a while to get used to something like this. Once we broke down the wall and we slid into the open world, I just took a minute to breathe in all of the world around me. I was fascinated by the sky, the moon effects, and whatever this flying, floating thing is. Whatever the game was giving me as a mission, I was throwing that out the window, and my new mission was to now find this thing. Of course, I still needed to go to the top of the mountain, and that's exactly what we did. At this point, I was getting really carried away with the slide, and it almost cost me in a couple of situations. I did like the way that you could sprint jump after the slides, but you gotta be careful because you never know when you're coming across a cliff. Thankfully, there's no fall damage in this game, but you do gotta look out for that wet damage. That can get you at any time you jump in the water. Now again, like I said, I was getting carried away, and I did happen to fall off one of these floating islands. Upon returning to the game, I found myself in this crazy Trinity pose, and then we landed into our spawn position. But that's not gonna stop me from sliding. Eager to get myself to the skies, I slid on up these floating stones, and I made my way to this monument here, or the fresco as it's called. As soon as this animation started playing, I instantly thought about Moana. We were voyagers! After that, we got a new blueprint for a glider stand, and we went ahead and built that out in the openness, but we had to get there first. And that's when I took some more wet damage, and I crafted my table out in a field. Once I crafted this and interacted with it, I was able to customize my glider, but I didn't have the materials to craft it. Again, I had to go work with the attack system, and I kind of got the hang of it this time. I started to notice the pattern and was able to chop down these trees at an incredibly fast pace. That allows me to get great combos and take down trees with ease. Now, of course, we have to chop down the pieces, but that's just an extra swing. Just make sure that when you're cutting down your trees, you're not hanging off the edge of a mountain over here, and all your logs are just gonna fly down or roll down the hill. I guess that stuff's gone. Once I gathered all my materials, I went ahead and placed down another crafting table. I'm not sure if I could pick these up yet, and I crafted out the glider. You can equip this thing in your inventory, and all you need to do is double jump to take off. Of course, I crash landed first thing, but the second try I got, we took off, and it seems like that it's not gliding, you're actually flying with hang glider type physics. You can do a quick boost, you can dash forward, and it seems like the sky's the limit here. No pun intended. Yeah, I intended it. If you're worried about crash landing or fall damage, count that stuff as non-existent. And it seems like this is going to be a perfect way to travel from island to island and get resources maybe that the first island that you're on doesn't have. At this time, I'm still not sure if this island is going to be our home island or if the game intends for us to go to different locations, but I just tested to see how easy it was to get to some of these spots. And it's incredible. I know with enough practice, I'm going to master this system, and hopefully we can get some things that increase the abilities that we have while doing this. You know, I'm not sure if this is a heavily based combat game yet. I'm not sure if this is more of a calm and friendly type game with not a lot of enemies, but I'm eager to find out now. This changes everything. Having the ability to jump to these islands also taught me a couple of other things that I can interact with. And being able to fly to different islands and get more resources is going to be very interesting. Now, I did happen to fly myself what appears to be out of bounds, and the game didn't like where I was going. I was just having a blast. Once I reached too far up in the sky, it told me I must find somewhere to land, and we did another Trinity pose over here and landed on the nearest island. I quickly took this chance to gather a couple of more resources, and then I started playing with the boost system a little bit more. And I took this chance to just fly out and try to return to the island that I initially started from. I really enjoy the environment. I really enjoy the idea of floating islands and being able to craft things, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. I hope that this quick breakdown helps you out and gets you eager to want to play this game too. This game does have multiplayer features, and if you're interested in playing a game with me, hit me up on my Discord channel. Send me a message or leave a comment. Hit that like button, and I'll see you later.